News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288 WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I have some audio to play for you and some real truth to get out here that is, to me, it's horrifying. I'm about to play some short clips of Puff Daddy and in a studio with Justin Bieber. And he is just a little kid, man. He might be 11, 12, 13, 10, I don't know. But after watching these and after hearing that a household name was sexually assaulted boy, and that's several boys, according to his Puff's former wife who died, or his wife who died in 2018. She had several journals that were found, diaries that were found, and they've just been published in a book on Amazon. It's 60 pages long, and it details, she writes about him having sex with boys on tape on their cameras and video cameras they would use to record it. And one of the stories that came out the other day is, and continues to be reported, is that he had young boys at his mansion and his properties and his freak-offs. I don't know about the freak-offs, but he had young boys there. And Justin Bieber and Usher are the two people who are mentioned. Usher said he saw some crazy types of things when he was there as a boy. He was there. You hear Puff talk about this. He was given custody, at least temporary, of Bieber and of Usher. I think he groomed them, used his money, power, and fame, and then assaulted them. I'm going to guess that he was assaulted as a child as well, and he continues his violent sexual abuse as he sits in a federal prison. Let me play you this audio of him and Bieber in a studio. Again, Bieber is a child, 11, 10, 12, I don't know.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then here's the next one.
8 hours. Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Okay, and Bieber is so tiny and such a child there. He looks like he's 11 or 10 or 12. I don't know. And then this one is in a club. I'll turn it down. This is in a club. And I'm telling you what I'm seeing. And you can decide for yourself. This is on my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show. I'm going to retweet it right now so it's right at the top. There's a party at a bar, at some kind of a club, and Puff Daddy looks like he is, I'm just going to tell you how it looks like to me. Looks like he's having somebody go down on him on a dance floor, and then he's pulling up his pants or getting it put together, and then up comes somebody that's got a hoodie on their head, and it's Justin Bieber. And he's down there. And you can see for yourself, I just retweeted it, maybe I'm wrong, but this looks incredibly like that. Here's the audio of it. Okay, and then Bieber starts, staring at the camera, face all the way up in there. It's like and then here's the next one. This is unbelievably horrifying. This is Justin Bieber with Puffy and all these other people partying, and Justin Bieber's jogging pants are below about 10 inches below his waist. His underwear is visible. His thighs are visible. So he's got his jogging pants below most of his underwear, I believe, from what I'm seeing. And he's partying and drinking, and he's got blonde dyed hair. And he's the only one that's young, and he is, this is really scary. It says, "Happy birthday, Justin. Happy birthday. Welcome to the family, Justin." And there he is drinking alcohol. Those pants are really low.
Welcome to the family, John.
I'm telling you, this kid was, I believe he was groomed. Here's more. His pants are below that underwear. He's getting welcomed and hugged. I mean, this is really scary stuff. I, today, unequivocally think he was groomed and sexually assaulted this is all the signs of it to me. Does it mean it happened? No, but it sure looks like it did to me. I think he's that household name, and I think Usher was as well. You can look at it. You can decide for yourself. And I'm going to play some audio of Katt Williams, the comedian, saying that Diddy is ready to tell on everybody. He's offered him $50 million 4 times. And then he says that Puff Daddy tried to, quote, just to protect my integrity, that virgin hole I was telling you about, Diddy wanted the party, and if you tell him no, I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely. This was months ago. He spoke about an interview with Shannon Sharp. I've got the audio. The number is 800-288-WBAP. I want to ask you, do you feel Puff Daddy may have sexually assaulted children? Could this be the next massive pedophile celebrity who used his power and money to do unspeakable things to boys? And how likely do you think Bieber and Usher are victims? The next Michael Jackson, except this time he unequivocally may have done it, not just the allegations. The next Epstein, but this one is definitively open, true, and there's politicians. His former bodyguard, says there are tapes of politicians at freak-offs, and he claims the rapper learned this from other music moguls. And a woman today came out and said that she is suing him for raping her on camera and selling clips as pornography. I don't doubt that. Here is, and I'm going to play for a second his lawyer talking about explaining 1,000 bottles of baby oil in a room and lube. But our number is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Do you feel Puff Daddy may have sexually assaulted children, as alleged in his deceased wife's diaries, and published in a book that's the #1 bestseller on Amazon as of yesterday, I read? And could this be the next massive pedophile celebrity who uses power and money to do unspeakable things? And how likely do you think Bieber and Usher are victims? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I am horrified. I am disgusted. I am disgusted and horrified at this guy, what I believe happened. And, I mean, the adult stuff is horrible enough. We also know that, what's his name, TD Jakes his name has been brought up in a lawsuit for allegedly, he was accused of being his fixer. He was hired apparently to be his fixer, according to reports, and then also may have been to some of these freak-offs, according to allegations, which I have not confirmed, but it's been reported in Dallas Morning News. So this is real. This is big. And let me play you his attorney who is trying to explain 1,000 bottles of lube or baby oil in a hotel room. Let's see. Here we go.
Good.
How do you explain the baby oil and the lubricants? 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot. I mean, there's a Costco right down the street. You know, I think Americans buy in bulk, as we know. And, you know, this is consensual adults doing what consensual adults do. You know, we can't get so puritanical in this country to think that somehow sex is a bad thing, because if it was, there'd be no more people.
So there's a Costco. That's his excuse for 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil in a hotel room. Yeah. This is horrifying to me. Here's Katt Williams, the comedian who says that Puff was trying to have relations with him in the rear, if you will, trying to be polite about this.
They offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need to know? You here? Get your notes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Come on.
Because early on you was accusing me of being.
Katt, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, but you know, some of these people.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop. I said, Martin, you got my mother word.
Okay, that's Katt Williams with Shannon Sharpe a couple months ago. When we come back, Ken in Arlington wants to chime in on this, and he wants to talk about this in the music industry. That's coming up next, as well as your call, and then why paranoid Puff Daddy is not eating in jail, where he's being held in the same federal facility as Sam Bankman-Fried right now. That is next, and then we get into the Gallup poll today that looks really good for Trump on many issues. 3 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. There's just so much horrifying things coming out of the in the news about Puff Daddy. It is very scary. His ex-wife Kim Porter talks about the hidden truths of his sex abuse. Now tops Amazon's bestseller list. Kim's Lost Words: A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, released just 10 days after his arrest. One of the things he says is, here, they got someone who purportedly had Kim Porter's flash drive. I know the celebrity source pretty well. Don't know how close they were to Diddy, all the people in the hip-hop community. This was supposedly for Kim Porter from the grave to come forward and tell her story. Talks about Combs assaulting her, issuing death threats against her, filming herself having sex with a teenage pop star, having sex parties with the Oscar winner and his wife. She allegedly finds making copies of footage with Combs having himself having sex with young boys, including an unnamed teenage pop star who she noted went on to become a household name. Some of the tapes had things I would never have expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys, like 2 hip-hop stars formerly managed by Combs and the 18-year-old pop star, I would have never known. And then she honestly texted him before becoming fatally ill, and she texted, "He got me," before dialing 911. I know for a fact the sex tape of Diddy with the teenage pop star has been shopped to Hollywood studios by other parties, the same man told Daily Mail. So that's what you got right there. I think it was Bieber and Usher. Clearly, those videos are horrifying. It looks like Bieber's performing oral sex on Puff Daddy, and the other videos have him having his pants down below his underwear, almost fully dancing and partying and drinking as a child. Horrifying. Ken in Arlington, WBAP. Hello.
Hey, Chris. Hey, is the music industry in Hollywood the new Epstein Island, or has it always been this way?
I think it's always been this way, but not with everybody. But I think there's a lot of wickedness and horrible things being done to people in their quest to become famous and wealthy.
That's disgusting. I mean, that's horrible, especially with Justin. I mean, he didn't know at that time. You don't have your sense. You just go with the flow. I thought,
yeah. I was, you'd get him drunk, you get him, you show him all that you have and all that he desires, and you say you're going to take care of him and mentor him, and then you start showing him often sexual things and trying to titillate him and get him intoxicated. That's how they usually groom. And this guy is in such a position. He reminds me of, do you remember a year or 2 ago or 3 years ago maybe, there was an unbelievably horrifying, just a horror story of a situation. A children's TV star for decades and decades and generations in Great Britain with the BBC. And remember when that came out, that he had raped like tens of, maybe even more than 100 or 200 child boys over the years because of that position. Wow. And I don't remember his name. If you just Google that, British television star, now deceased pedophile, you'll see the guy. And that guy was a rock star among the country for decades and decades. And he was raping boys all along. So, yeah.
But who was the one? And he was Michael Jackson's friend, and then He did a couple of movies, but he came out.
Corey Haim. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman, yeah.
They warned about this a long time ago, so they knew. But
Feldman defends him to this day, I believe.
Oh my!
For what it's worth, yeah. There's always a teeny part of me that thinks Jackson didn't do it, that it was innocent because he was so wildly abused. I don't think sexually, but physically from his dad. And he was just having this weird, inappropriate fantasy about being a child again and trying to recreate his childhood and never left his childhood. I don't know to this day for sure if he was a pedophile or not, but it sure looked like it. But this is different. I think this is unequivocal right here. This is not. This is a man who's sexually wicked.
Well, what's disgusting about this is that it happens in all abuse, is that the person that is abused will always defend their abuser.
Yes. Not all of them, but most of them, yes. It can take years or sometimes decades, if ever, to realize that you are a victim and you were sexually assaulted and raped. It can take years and decades for many of these beautiful people who suffer. I know some, and who become empowered and finally get to realize on one day, little by little, and one day it happens where the bubble bursts and they go, I was sexually assaulted, I was groomed and raped. And that is a powerful day for that person. From that day forward, they are free. And to me, I want to share your duty, if you're ever one of those people, is to share and share and share with the people out there that can be helped by this. Not to overshare or to tell people it's none of their business, but to share and to put that into work to be able to minister to others. It will be so healing to you. Scott in Fort Worth, WBAP, hello.
Yes, sir, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
We appreciate what you do, and first off, prayers to anyone who is involved or victims of any assault, physically or psychologically. It can take years to come to terms with that, and I'm very close to several people who've been victims of that. I think you had the video, or excuse me, the feeds, the audio backwards. I think the first one where Bieber is early in his career is one where it's the 48-hour deal, and then the first one that he played is later in his career. Yeah. And I've seen the tape. He is visibly shaken when P Diddy starts talking to him about, why don't you call me?
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you know that something.
Can you hold? I want to hear the rest of this. I don't want to rush it. This is powerful.
Sure.
Can you stand by? Thank you. Okay. He's breaking down what I retweeted. You can see all this for yourself. It's horrifying to me. That's next. Lines open for you. 4 of them at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show and News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Why paranoid Sean Diddy Combs Puffy isn't eating in jail where he's being held with Sam Bankman-Fried. Larry Levine served a sentence at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where he is right now, where Diddy is, says the source with the knowledge of the situation inside says he's not eating. Imagine if somebody paid someone off on the inside to poison his food to give him a heart attack if he dies. He says Diddy was reportedly refusing to eat due to fear, paranoia, that he now has a target on his back. If somebody got on one of those correctional officers, and this could happen, they don't make a lot of money, and there's a lot of people out there that he's got stuff on that do have a lot of money. So I don't doubt that. These videos that I saw that I've retweeted again, they're right towards the very top of my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. One shows him talking to Puff Daddy as a 15-year-old. I'll play these again real fast, then we're going to talk to Scott in Fort Worth. I'm asking you, do you feel Puff Daddy may have sexually assaulted children? Could this be the next massive pedophile celebrity who uses power and money to do unspeakable things? And how likely do you think Bieber and Usher are victims? Because remember, I mentioned in a tell-all book that's like #1 bestseller on Amazon right now, It's 60 pages, reportedly from his ex-wife who died in Kim Porter, I think it is, in 2018, of her talking about finding video with Puff Daddy having sex parties with men, which is not illegal, but then having sex with a couple of different boys that were apparently under his tutelage, including some child household names. Stars that are household names now. And I believe it's Justin Bieber and Usher. I'll play these 3 videos real fast, give you a very quick description. We got 4 lines open, 800-288-WBAP. And then Scott in Fort Worth has some powerful stuff he was saying. I didn't want to rush him. And also, he's talking about these 4 videos. So let me play them again. This is Puff with Bieber at a very young age. It looks like he this caller is saying it might be 15, the oldest one and all this. But let me just play it for you. This is him in the studio talking to him. And Bieber is, I agree with the caller, Scott, who says he thinks Bieber is looking petrified and afraid and shaking in this.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way.
Here, wait.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
Okay, then here's the next one. Not in a particular order, but this is where Justin looks like he's 11 or 12.
And you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
All right, then here's the next one. This is at a club, and Puff Daddy, to me, clearly is pulling his pants up, and somebody appears to be giving oral sex on him with a hoodie, and he gets up and looks at the camera. It's Justin Bieber, then he puts his face right in the camera. I mean, that is literally what I'm seeing there. And then the next one, you don't see it, but it looks like everything like it. The next one is him partying with Puff Daddy and a bunch of adults drinking. And in this one, Justin's pants are down below his, about 10 to 12 inches below his waist. You can see below his underwear where it comes up and his thighs are exposed. So his pants are down about 10 inches below the top of his underwear. You can see a lot of those areas. He's partying and drinking, and here's the audio from this saying, "Happy birthday." He's chugging.
Welcome to the family, John.
It just looks bad. It looks really bad. It looks horrifying to me. Scott in Fort Worth, thanks for holding and thanks for kind of going through with this. So you were saying the first videos of the last one where he's 15. The other ones where he's younger and such. So go ahead and tell me about what you see there and what you know.
Yeah, well, I've seen the first 2 videos. I haven't seen the third or fourth, and I'm listening to it on the phone, and I'm wanting to pull over and throw up. I'm impressed at how disgusting these people can get, and it's just shameful that this could potentially be another video of sexual abuse of a minor, which is shameful. And it happens to poor people. It happens to rich people. And what really kind of gets my goat about this is that his parents signed off on this.
Yes.
And I mean, it's I'm
you look at
working to figure it out in my mind.
There's here's some of the comments on this. That 10-second video is so off-putting. Why was he down on his knees in front of that man? Am I seeing that wrong? And then another one talks about that boy got hooked on opiates, wrecked his dopamine receptors for life. And then it just goes on. There's some other stuff saying that. Anyway, it's just really bad. And, here, where was his mother? He said, someone said, I guess she was caring about the money. Sad and disgusting. And that's kind of what you hit on. And I agree. I think she gave her son to him, and the worst happened to him.
So like, I think that people go on hard times, and, if they can find a honeypot and it happens to be their kid, that's whatever, but some significant transactions involved with this, and P Diddy makes careers, and I don't know that the parents weren't all in on that.
Yeah.
But the issue is the assaults and how those happen all over the place, and I hope that it didn't happen to him, but from what we can tell on the video,
and this book that was published,
energetic change.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I appreciate your call, Scott, and I'm grateful for you talking about that. How you said several victims of sexual assault, and how yes, it can take years for them to fully understand it and realize, and then to be able to admit to themselves. They don't have to say to anybody else out there publicly, but to admit to themselves, I am a victim. I was sexually assaulted. I was groomed. I was raped or sexually assaulted, and it's not my fault.
And that's like the beginning of the healing.
Yes,
because the healing can take a lifetime.
That's exactly right.
But again, I appreciate what you do, and
thank you.
Thanks for WBAP.
I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful you pulled over. I'm really grateful for your call today, Scott, and I appreciate you very much. Take care, sir. Have a wonderful night. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Danny in California. Hello, you're on WBAP.
Hey, yes, this is very normal, I believe, normal in a wicked way. I grew up here calling from California right now, but I grew up here pretty much all my life, and I used to hang out in L.A. With a lot of celebrities, and, one of those kids from License to Drive, forgot the kid's name, but he was the main star in License to Drive.
Yeah.
He was actually 16 years old. He was out there getting drunk with Arsenio Hall. And I don't understand. The parents were actually allowing a lot of that, and I can't believe the adults in the whole entire club or restaurant were allowing a little kid to go in there and get drunk with the rest of the older guys.
Yeah, it's Corey Haim and Corey Feldman were the two inseparable buddies in License to Drive. Corey Haim is dead from a drug overdose, and Corey Feldman.
Go
ahead. It was Corey Haim.
Yeah, it was Corey Haim. Yeah, we got some pictures and stuff together. But anyways, that was, like I said, it was very normal for that time, and I think it still is. All of that is really allowed because that thing is really wicked. Hollywood is very wicked, and I wouldn't pass it by this whole thing that's going on with Justin.
I remember, and Usher is quite possible as well. I remember, I can't remember which director it was, but allegations of pool parties with boys, minors, and sexual relations and such. I can't remember who that was, and I don't want to say their name even if I could, because I don't know if that's the report I read, but some real scary stuff out there. I'll tell you what, I appreciate your call, Danny. I'm always grateful for your great calls from California. Crystal in Dallas, really quickly, you're on WBAP. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I was just calling because if you listen to a lot of Justin Bieber's latest songs, and one of them, it's really sad because he actually talks about it, so I wholeheartedly believe this happened to him. And Usher also, but Justin actually, if you listen to his lyrics, they're so sad because he's telling you it happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the slow songs that he's come out recently with over the last year.
Okay.
But yeah, if you listen to the song and knowing just the rumors that have been swirled around Diddy for so long. Like, you know what he's talking about. And then it was either Usher's parents or Justin Bieber's parents, but one of them signed over, like, gave power of attorney to Diddy.
Yeah, I think it was Usher that they were talking about, because he said, I signed Bieber at that time when he was, looked like he was 11 or 12 or 13. I signed him to Usher's label. And Usher did an interview not too long ago, and he was talking about how he saw some wild things, and he's not going to talk about them when he was a kid over there living with Puff Daddy. I believe they were both. This is my own beliefs. I'm not saying it's confirmed or anything, but I believe they were both sexually assaulted and groomed by Puff Daddy. And you use a victim to get more victims, like Epstein did. We also found out that a female. Remember how Epstein had Ghislaine Maxwell as his? She was his pimp, if you will. She was lying and manipulating little children. She'd find some of them on a playground in her limousine, and she would recruit them at 13, 14, 15, 16, and she would get them under the guise of, look at me and I want to make you a model. Soon they'd be having relations on a billionaire's property or island with no way to get out, and it's just horrifying. Here's this today from the Daily Mail. Justin Bieber's tearful interview about wanting to protect, quote-unquote, Billie Eilish from the music industry resurfaces after Diddy's arrest. So that's just another example, and I don't doubt you at all. Thank you for your call today. And what's the name of that song you're talking about? I'll just write it down and I'll look up the lyrics.
I can't think of the name of the song, but it's really sad. It's a really slow song, but it's one of his newer songs. Mm-hmm. But I can't think of the name. But the video, it's really sad because it's like everything's in slow motion, like he's in a club, and it's really sad when you listen to the video. The song came out. I first heard the song last year when all this Diddy stuff was being swirled around. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. All right. Do you remember any of the lyrics? I'll just type it in and look it up. I'll look it up on my own. Sometimes if you know a phrase or something. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It was something like if you would have listened now, something like that. Okay. But he's talking about past experiences and how no one was basically on his side, and they all laughed at him when he tried to say something. When he started to realize stuff was wrong. Right. If you would have listened to me? Yeah, it's anyone. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. Anyone from 20, let's see here, 20, let me see. Come on, baby. Yeah, it'll come down here in a second. It was posted about 3 years ago, I think. Anyone. We'll see. Yeah, but it's only him in the song. Yeah, it's only him, and it's a slow song. Yeah, I'll check it out. Also, I wanted to tell you thank you because I went to First Baptist of Dallas last year, and I joined because of you. You brought me and my family to it, so thank you. You are amazing. What's your name? Crystal? Thank you, Crystal. I am so happy, and you could not imagine how happy I am and how happy I'll pass this along to Dr. Jeffress. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Welcome home. We appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Care. I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Polling coming in from Gallup that is incredible for Trump and for Republicans. Doesn't mean we're going to win, but it looks really good, and it goes into detail on many categories. I'll get into that coming up next, along with other details on such. We're going to talk about who you think has a better chance of winning the election as of today. What does Trump need to do to win? And do you think, as one of Kamala's surrogates said, do you think most of us are misremembering how bad the economy was under Trump? That's next on the Chris Crock Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Okay, Gallup, brand new poll. And this is very bad news for Kamala and the Democrats, according to this new poll. The key measures of the 2024 presidential election environment. What they say is these measures here, the top couple of measures, like the number one and the top three measures that they do on the polling, it's been highly predictive of election outcomes in Gallup trends dating back to 1948. The party rated as better by handling the most important problem has won all but three presidential elections since 1948. And
Here's what we have. More U.S. adults identify as Republican or say they lean towards the Republican Party than identify or lean Democrat by 3 points, 48-45. The party affiliation and voting are strongly predictive of individuals' vote choices. There are typically more Democrats and Democrat leaners than Republicans and Republican leaners in the U.S. population, so it's not usually like this at all. Republicans previously have not had an outright advantage in party affiliation during a third quarter of a presidential election year. And it has in this one, though. It previously have not had an outright advantage like this. They have rarely outnumbered Democrats in election and non-election years over the past 3 decades. By 46 to 41%, Americans say the Republican Party is better able than Democrat Party to address what they think is the most important problem facing the country. The top issues Americans currently name is economy, 24%. Where the Republicans have a 3-point lead. They have a 3-point lead on party identification and leaning. The party better able to handle most important problem. Republicans have it by 5 points. Strong advantage on that. Let me read that to you. By 5 points, the Republican Party better able than the Democrats to handle the most important problem facing the country. Economy, immigration, government, and inflation are the top 4 that they have. And let me go on, though. Party identification and leaning, I shared that with you. Party better able to handle the most important problem, which is the economy, is Republicans strongly by 5 points over the Democrats. Satisfaction, 22% are satisfied, and that leans very strong or moderate for the Republican Party advantage. Economic confidence, negative 28 on the score. Republicans, moderate advantage. And it goes on. We'll read more coming up next. But then also, Kamala surrogate Chris Coons, which I'll play for you coming up next at 3 minutes after 10. Kamala's top surrogate, one of his top surrogates, Chris Coons, says many Americans misremember how bad the economy was 4 years ago under Trump. So apparently we've misremembered how bad it was under Trump in the economy, and we misremember how good it was under Kamala and Biden for almost 4 years now. I want to ask you about that too, and some other questions. Who do you think has a better chance of winning the election as of today? And what do you think Trump needs to do to win? We're going to get into this in a minute, to 3 minutes after the hour as well. And do you think most of us are misremembering how bad our economy was under Trump? Are you misremembering also Kamala and Joe's 3.5 years on the economy? Has it actually gone well and we're misremembering it? And do you think Kamala's economic plans are going to work for you? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. Chime in right now. Be the first person to pop on with me coming up at 3 minutes after the hour. And you're going to hear a lot more about this, including the audio of this. We're saying you're misremembering how bad it was under Trump. That's next.